Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, the podcast. Today, we're talking about something that is new or was new at the beginning of MLB The Show 25 and has maybe been a little controversial. Today, we're talking about the multiplayer program. Is it good for the game? Is it bad for the game? Is it something that can just be improved upon and be made better? The reason we are not talking about something incredibly topical in today's podcast is because I am recording this almost a week in advance of you listening to it because I am just returning from a business trip when you're listening to this. So shout out to me for having business. Thank you. Pats on the back. But this is not my full-time job. I have a career. So we do this when we can. Either way, this is something worth talking about because this is something people have opinions on, and we're going to get into it. So let's begin. The multiplayer program. I think we all know what it is at this point. It is a program that encapsulates all of online head-to-head play. Instead of having a dedicated events program, a dedicated BR program, a dedicated ranked program, now anything you do online just kind of funnels into this program. In the past, when it was separated by ranked events and BR, them all having their own specific programs, you could earn specific rewards at events or BR or ranked that were unique. And the downside of it, if there was one, well, I guess there were twofold downsides. The first one being it always felt like there was homework. Like, oh, new BR program, got to go catch up on this. Event program, got to go catch up on this, yada, yada, yada. And secondly, a lot of the rewards were so underwhelming in each of their own areas that there were times where the ranked program, the events program, and the BR program all yielded cards you didn't care about. So you were just grinding mindlessly for binder, for collection fodder. That's a content problem, not a structure problem, but still, it was a problem. So what SDS did this year, for MLB The Show 25, and I can see their thinking. I was a part of some discussions of the MLB The Show 25 development process, but not this. When this was announced, it was all news to me. What they tried to do with this was consolidate things, right? We want people to play the game the way they want to play it, which is a good thing. Let's be honest, that is a good thing on the surface if done correctly. We want people of all experience levels and skill levels to play the mode they're most comfortable in, but also still be getting rewards. And the multiplayer program does have good rewards in it. I love these deluxe choice packs. 20k XP is a lot. Wowee, a bat skin. Just kidding. But it is pizza, so that's cool. You know, Ballin' is a gold packs, ranked rewind packs. The downside of the multiplayer program, or the biggest issue I have with it from a structural standpoint, is that you have to use all of these bosses, and these cards largely are not that good. I don't want to have to use Rafael Palmeiro for 500 PXP. You're forcing me. You want me to play my way, but now you're forcing me to play somewhere with this card. That I don't like. I get why they kind of want you to do it, because they want you to experience new cards, experience new swings. If I had one gripe with structurally how it's put together, that would be it. I don't want to use Rafael Palmeiro, at least that version of him. A good one I would use. I don't want to use this Mike Piazza. I have many catchers elsewhere that I'd rather use. Now, not every card is for everybody. This free Mike Piazza is very good, and it will be starting catchers for people who don't have Santana, Posada, Yasmani, Grandal, and that's great. I'm happy for you. Just for others, you're now forcing us to use cards we don't want to use. That's just my vantage point. But what we're really talking about today with the multiplayer program is, I think, the unintended consequences of the multiplayer program. I was somebody, when it was announced, who was curious about it, but also I kind of thought it was a good idea. The play your way thing, of course, being a very important topic and a very important thing. You should want your player base to not feel pigeonholed into doing stuff, except in very specific circumstances, like playing a mini season for Tony Gwynn. Like that's different. That's not a frequent occurrence. And it also gave a lot of good rewards in there. But like every 3 to 4 weeks when they were refreshing BR, events, World Series, or ranked, it got to be a lot. I'm starting to not love the multiplayer program. And it actually has nothing to do with the program itself. It has everything to do with the fact that events are now useless. And BR is more of a nightmare than ever before. Let's start with events. Events used to be one of the premier ways for good or decent to good players, excuse me, to grind stubs. Or parallel players. But, you know, you get to 10 wins, you can go 10-1. Events is not as hard as BR, just because of the cards generally you can use. You could farm some diamonds. When there were event-specific rewards, remember back in the day where if you went 10 wins or 10-0 maybe in events, you got a super special card too? Bring those back. Those were sellable. I think it was maybe 22 that was around. 23, 22 probably. I was making ungodly stubs from that method, and maybe that's why it was taken away. But events now serve no purpose other than a multiplayer program grinding simulator where people are... It's become more toxic. It's become a toxic place. Like, let's say the multiplayer program is requiring you to hit X number of home runs. I have had multiple instances in which I hit a homer, or I thought I did, and then the person dashboards before it lands because they know everybody's grinding for the same thing. Everyone's grinding for homers. You hit one, they leave. Just to be annoying. Events is also supposed to be a place for low stakes, more casual online play, which is a good thing. I don't mean that in an offensive way because it's not an offensive thing. But it's become so sweaty. There need to be casual adjacent game modes that are not all sweat fests all the time. Another thing that's happened, and I don't know what I attribute this to, I feel like every event game I play feels like it's played in liquid ooze. It is the slowest, laggiest, weirdest, worst game experience. And I don't know if that's anecdotal. I don't know if that's because there is now less server attention on that mode because of this, that. I don't know. I'm just spouting now. But events, which truthfully was one of my favorite modes to grind. I loved playing a new event. I would max out the event program. I enjoyed having 8-10 win runs in events. I always tried to have a good record in the event just because I thought it was cool. It's a lost mode now. For a lot of people, it's a completely lost mode. Events has always had so much potential within MLB The Show, and I don't know if it's ever actually reached the potential it could have, but now there's no hope. This is the killer of events, in my opinion. It is still played, for sure, just not nearly as much, and it has completely different motives when playing it. It's just a vehicle for the multiplayer program, which I suppose all the multiplayer modes are, but I think you guys know what I'm getting at here. It's almost... Listen to this metaphor and understand what I'm saying here. You know how when we have, like, Spotlight program missions to do, we just load up a roster, go play at Coors, and beat the ever-loving daylights out of the Rockies? You know how we do that? Events now is kind of like the online version of that. You load up your event lineup with any qualifier that helps you fulfill the missions you now have to do for the multiplayer program, and you mindlessly turn your brain off and play until those missions are done. That is how I have begun to see it. Because when I play events, I'm not locked in. That might be a personal problem, but I don't feel like even the low stakes it used to have, the stakes are now lower. It's a mindless, let's play until I fulfill my thing grind. And the 10-win reward now you get for going 10-0 or 10-1 is now an 85 to an 87 overall diamond, which is worth 3,000 stubs. If you get lucky, it's worth 15, which ain't bad, let's be honest, but 10 wins for 15K? 10 wins if you're playing 3 innings every single game? That takes you 2.5 hours? That's a long grind for 15K. I'd rather play Diamond Quest and play 2.5 Diamond Quests in that time and make triple that amount. Events doesn't seem to have any purpose anymore. Like, specific purpose. And that's a problem. And now shifting to BR. If my game lets me, I feel it. There we go. Let's start in the pre-BR program era. The pre-BR program era was perhaps the most competitive BR has ever been. For better or worse, it alienated players who, let's be honest, just simply cannot go 10-0, or at that time 12-0. And it was the best of the best, hitting each other with toothpicks on All-Star until someone passed out and died. That's what BR was like, the pre-program era. And up until a certain point, the rewards were outstanding. Outstanding. Then the BR program came along. The rewards stepped a tier down, but that was understandable because now you made those cards so much more accessible. And what it did by introducing a program, which I think was a good thing, if I'm being honest, was that it created a level of accessibility to BR that never existed before. It allowed more players to try the mode because they knew as long as they played it and did reasonably okay, they could still fulfill the program path. And I think what it did was it taught more people that they're better at this game than they think. And that is always a positive. That should always be the goal of a game like this. People get so discouraged by seeing teams that are better than theirs or icons that they don't think they can ever get, and they give up. Everybody who plays this game, I promise you, is better at it than you say you are. Unless you're a Looney Tune and you think the best player on earth and you actually suck a bag of something. But that's a very small percentage of people. Everyone who plays this game is better at it than they think they are, as long as they try, put in the work, and, like, effectively think about how they're going about things. That's a separate conversation, a separate tangent. But that's what the BR program did, is it was a gateway to showing people they were better at this game than they thought. And it made things more accessible. And again, some people don't like the accessibility of it. I do also agree that some things should be exclusive. But in this instance, it all made sense. Now what's happened? You've taken away the program. So now it's all sweaty people again. Just in a rock fight. Just throwing pebbles at each other till someone gets hit in the temple. But the rewards also still suck. So it's the worst instances of all of the above. Plus, you've taken away the ability for the 10-0 diamonds, not the flawless card, the 10-0 87 plus player to always be good. It could be a 3,000 or 5,000K 87 overall. BR, which was once an ultimate stub making method, is also no longer that. So ultimately, what the multiplayer program has done has stripped us of every single feasible way for decent to good players to make stubs. And with the weekly tax we have to pay with Spotlight Pack cards, and this card, and that card, and collections, and blah, 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 blah. There are two effective ways right now to make money. Or make stubs, I should say. Or three effective ways is money. The third way is swiping your credit card. The other two ways are flipping the market, which is a mini game that a lot of people don't want to play, and I don't blame them for not wanting to play it, because you buy this game to play MLB The Show. You don't buy it to play Stock Market Simulator. And the other way is farming Diamond Quest over and over and over again, which I like doing. But the problem with that is some people don't have enough time in a day to play one Diamond Quest run, let alone all the other smattering of things that have to be done. And Diamond Quest also does not guarantee you rewards, which I have no problem with because that's the nature of a mode like that, and I accept it. But some people do not accept it and don't want to sit there farming that mode without true guarantees of getting the rewards. That's their own prerogative. I don't judge them for it. Everybody should choose to spend their own time how they'd like to spend their own time. But the multiplayer program has unfolded in such a way that it is hurting two of the most popular online modes, in my opinion. And if you guys disagree at any point, please tell me with reasonable constructive feedback. There are a couple people who like to just tell me I'm always wrong, and they could go play in traffic with a blindfold. I didn't know where I was going there. There is still so much potential for how we unlock rewards in this game, and I don't know if we've ever gotten truly to a point where it all just blends together nicely. I know it also seems like we have one thing, we beg for another thing, then we get that other thing, and we also beg for other... Like, it is a never-ending cycle of, I don't like this. That's not healthy, but I also think that's us as a player base having ideas, receiving the ideas, and then saying, you know what, maybe we weren't right. And it's that never-ending process of trying to find the thing that works. So, ultimately, I don't know what should happen with the multiplayer program. Clearly, it's here for MLB The Show 25. It ain't going anywhere, because that's not a thing I don't think you could just... maybe they can just change it mid-year. I don't know. I don't think they will. The multiplayer program is not up there with, like, sets and seasons level of, oh shit, this is bad. That required, like, a mid-game cycle update. Like, hey, guys, I know you hate this. Don't worry. We're not doing it again. We're not going to get that, I really don't think, with the multiplayer program. It's not that much of an atrocity. But it has, like, you know, it has opened my eyes to other fundamental issues with how this game is structured. I don't know if the intention of the multiplayer program was to suppress our stub-making ability, but that is an unintended, or possibly unintended, consequence of the whole thing. So, that's actually where I'm going to end. I think I made my points in a reasonable amount of time, and I don't want to just ramble for the sake of rambling. So I leave you with this, and I want this to be open-ended. If you have a different opinion on the multiplayer program than I do, sway me. I'm open to seeing it from a different frame. Because like I said, I started out the year thinking this was a good idea. Now I've kind of come around to the other side like, I see the negatives of this. I don't know if I like it. Maybe I'm still missing something. So let me know what you think. What is the best way to do this? What's the best way where we can all get what we want out of this? Or a lot of people can get what they want out of it. Because when you cater to everyone, you cater to nobody. But we got to cater to a good amount of people here. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed your Memorial Day weekend and had lots of glizzies. I will just be finishing up a long weekend of work. But that means my busy season is over. Yay! My busy season's over. And content's still flowing. So, rejoice. That's it, guys. Love you guys. Love you so much. See you next time.